John chapter 1 verse 14 said, Jesus came into the world, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And then it goes on to say, Jesus came full of grace and truth. Not grace or truth, but grace and truth. Both grace and truth. And we need both of those. Jesus was full of both. We need to be full of both. So we don't just come to this matter of truth with it's all about truth and all that matters is truth. And then we become arrogant and we become judgmental and condemning and proud that we know the truth and others don't. Look at me, look how smart I am and look how right I am and I've always got to be right on everything. That is not a Christ-like attitude, and that's not the kind of thing that draws people to the gospel. But on the other hand, we are to come to people with grace, but not just grace by itself, because grace without truth isn't true grace, just as truth without grace isn't true truth, because grace is one of the greatest of all the truths. And grace is a truth, but grace, the grace of God toward us, has some things about it that aren't always appealing to us. For instance, by grace have you been saved through faith, that not as yourselves, it's the gift of God, not by works lest anyone should boast. In other words, grace tells me that I can't earn my way to heaven. Grace tells me the truth about grace is I deserve hell, not heaven. But God loved me so much, His redemptive death on the cross for me. What Jesus did for me is His work for me is the only work that can get me to heaven. Any of my works are as filthy rags. They're worth nothing. That's kind of an insult to be told that you can't measure up. So we got to take grace and truth and meld them together. Jesus came full of grace and truth. Let's seek to be full of grace, but true grace that recognizes the reality of all God's other truths. It's not the only truth, though it's a vitally important truth, and then a truth that is spoken with humility. Ours should be a humble orthodoxy, one that does not leave us proud, but leaves us humble, where we humbly tell others about the grace of Jesus and uplift the truth of Jesus and bow our knees to the Lord who has given us His word.